Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at Gpro, Aapl, Bidu, Twilio, and Chtr. We're going to follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So we talked about this one yesterday that we had a inside bar, bullish pattern, but then we came back in and we closed below this bar. That is bearish. We got below the 20 MA as well. So now we started going sideways. I would like to have seen more consolidation before it moved down. So that tells me that there's a possible opportunity here for a bounce, but we're going to see how this thing comes in. Again, everything will be a market trade. If for whatever reason the SPY, the IWM, and the Qs and everything else starts to dump as the indexes, this can possibly go lower. But if everything's dumping and this stays above it or in this area and just kind of chops around, this could be a possible bounce candidate. If you're bullish on this one, you need to get off this level, bounce above the 20 MA, recapture it, and then possibly get above the 1622 area, and this one can move higher. But right now it's slowly breaking down, but we're coming into some good support here. If this trend line cracks, we're definitely going down to the 1150, 1155 area, and it's going to go down fast, unless they get some news or something. All these stocks are news driven or an upgrade or whatever, then anything's possible in these stocks. Weekly, we talked about the 50 MA, right into it, pulled back. Was there resistance over here? Yeah, we had the breakdown bar there. So we have great resistance around 1638, the 50 MA, and it's really just traveling down this way. Let's see if we can close below the 618 here. And then next area of support, around 12 bucks or so. This is on the weekly time frame. So on the daily, we're about 13. On the weekly, we're at about 12. So we're going to have resistance going down. But like I said, if the markets dump, it will hit these levels. And 10 bucks even number, loves that area. Monthly chart, pretty ugly consolidation in a bearish manner. And honestly, this one can go lower. Needs to get out of this trend and needs to get above like the $20 level. Gets above there, and I think we could go to 28.72, but that's if the markets get a full-on bid, everything starts moving up, and we're at the all-time highs on the SPY and all that stuff. That probably won't happen unless they come out with news, like I said. It's the only way that's going to push this stock up, in my opinion. All right, let's take a look at Aapl. AAPL. Aapl, man, they put the little bit of sell on this one, down 2.62%. or $2.84 on the day. And, you know, we talked about this trend line. Needs to get above it. Never did. Let's put a fib in here. You know, we're actually at the two. Actually, we could go on to another time frame. All right, let's take this one out. So I just want to see one thing. So when I think we showed this yesterday in yesterday's video, probably went to the 618 or 750. Yep, 618. Made the high pivot, pulled right back, and falling. Coincidence, we're at the low of the day, 105.45 or 105.52 it closed, right at double bottom. If this market gaps down, so far we're down 20-something cents on the SPY after hours, no big deal. Tomorrow will probably be green, but if somehow, somewhere we gap down tomorrow, we are definitely going into the 103, 104 area, which will have pretty good support. We do have the 50 MA curling up, and we do have a gap window down in here around 102.74. So if this thing really gets to sell on, we can definitely come into this area. I would expect, you know, it's got to be a market trade as well. If this thing comes into the gap window, you'd expect to bounce, but if the markets are selling, we're definitely going to gap fill around 96. We'll stop here at the pivot here at the 101, 100 area. But if that cracks, we're definitely going to fill this gap down in here. And then you have a trend line here from connecting the lows. So right around 95, 96, that would be a good bounce area, but you got to match it up with the SPY and see if that's bouncing. But nice retrace to the big 618. Boom, right back in its face. I'm going to stick the fib down from here again. I want to keep this one in here. And again, we're at the 250 retrace, right down in the 103 area. You got the 382. So down here we have some pretty good support. But again, got to watch out, see what the overall markets are doing. Markets sell, this one could go lower. Again, we got above this trend line. We did confirm. Now we're coming back in, popped it up. Now we're definitely below it. Let's see how it reacts if we get to the 104 area. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. We'll see if we can bounce up. We still have an inside bar down in here. This, you know, there's some good support down in here. So let's see if this thing really starts to rumble and really starts going through these areas. Then this one could be in trouble. Again, SPY sells. everything's going down. Again, bullish because you're over the moving averages, but bearish, just can't get anything going. I mean, if anything, I thought for sure 112.33, and it couldn't even do that. But you're slightly bullish up in here. Let's see what happens on tomorrow's close on the weekly basis. And the monthly, again, we've been talking about this inside bar. They brought it up almost to the high, chopped around, coming back in. Monthly chart, so it's going to take a little while to play out here. But if I had a month, if we're down in here or even back to the $100 area, $95 area, that would be a full engulfing candle to this big green one, and I think there would be lower prices ahead. That's way ahead of us, but we got to follow the daily one day at a time, and this was a nice sell-off today. I would expect some more follow-through tomorrow. Let's go to Bidu. Bidu, this thing was rumbling. Let me tell you, everyone was getting bullish on it, and I came out and said, you know what, look at this big trend line. Connect the dots. You learn that stuff in first grade. It's pretty simple. Big trend line. You have this window. You have the gap fill up here. Did it? No, barely made it. These stocks, a lot of times, kind of like PayPal today, we have this high pivot. It just rumbled right through the 618, through this high pivot, went right to the trend line 2 days ago. And then the next day, you got all the suckers buying in. You got all the shorts going, oh my gosh, Bidu, not again. Oh man, I got to get out of this thing. Pulls off a nice little topping tail here. Not the best because it's not at the tops, but I'll take it here. Nice reversal. Someone came in, pushed this thing down. Shorts covered. They ended up stopping. No buyers. Comes right back in. Guess what? Right below the trend line again. Until we get it back above that thing and confirm, I believe this one is going lower. God, that's just classic reversal action and some follow through. And we closed below that that high tail there bar on the daily, that is. Weekly, same thing. Went right up into it, and here we go. We're coming back. As a bear, I would love for it to close below the 185.39 area tomorrow. It needs to start continuing to go lower. I love a close below 183.63. We can actually get it. On this day we were up 82, almost $9-10, or actually, yeah, we were up like $12 that day. So you can't tell me this thing can't come $12 down. It definitely can. But we're gonna watch this close. We still had the 750. We still had the upper trend line. When this thing was going up, it was like, wow, you got to short this thing up in here. So we're short in a short-term day trade, and we're also on a swing trade in Bidu as well. So we're in two positions. One, if I could get a buck or two out of this thing tomorrow, I'll sell the short-term one, and the swing trade we might have to hold for a couple weeks or so. We'll see. But this one I like a lot. Again, until we get above this trend line, this thing's going right back down. Lower highs, still kind of strong, coming in above the moving averages. But man, when you come back in, retrace, come back in, retrace, come back in, retrace, that's setting up for some lower prices in the near future. And then plus we have a big inside bar here. We closed down in this. Well, we didn't close below that pivot, but we're in an inside bar bearish pattern on the monthly. Weekly, not so much. Oh man, this was a nice move. Had some volume, but I think the move's over. Again, you're just watching for it to close above this trend line and confirm. If it gets to 202, if you started shorting around this area, you want to add one more position around there. If it gets above maybe 210, 215, you want to just stop out and say, I gave it a shot. All right, let's get into Twlo. I think that's how you pronounce it. But a lot of people were talking about this stock, so I had to do some analysis on it. But again, came up, came down, retraced back up, came back in, retraced to the 618. Now you have a trend line from this bar here. So now it just couldn't get above. Love the retrace, pulled back. Now we're consolidating. We need to get below this 618 at 56. And then definitely we could get to 55.29. We'll see how it reacts when it hits this 50 or 20 MA. But if we start going sideways, price comes up to it, we have a good chance of it going up and through this bar. We don't have a lot of technicals on here, but I'm playing the retrace. I'm thinking we could come back in and possibly come back to this trend line. We are short this stock. We're up a couple bucks already, and I'm just looking for a couple more and we'll be out. Try to get 5 to 10% on this one. That would be epic. But if the SPY sells tomorrow, we could possibly get more, or in the following week, or weeks, I should say. We're right in that time frame of everything pulling back a little bit. Weekly chart, not too much on here, just choppy, sloppy. We had some tails up in here. This isn't really telling other than You know, if you take a fib from here to here, we're above all the Fibonacci's, kind of in a strong stance, but not, like I said, not a lot of technicals on here. But a stock that goes from 24 to 66, you'd expect some sort of a pullback. If you go back to the weekly, you'd expect at least pulling back, you know, 5-0 retrace, maybe the 618. You come back into this area here, I think that'd be a great area to possibly buy. If the markets are dumping, then you're looking at this lower pivot here. And if you're looking at a bullish, if you're a little more bullish on this stock, you got to get above the all-time high with some conviction. So I wouldn't doubt if it could possibly retrace a little bit more, maybe up into this area, and I'd still short this thing. If it gets above this high and closes and confirms, you just stop out. Even up in this area, you just take the right size position, give yourself enough room to have a $8, $9, you know, squeeze up. So if you put a half position on instead of a full 10% position of your total portfolio, if you only go 5, then you can withstand that, you know, $10, $11 push up. If it gets up into there, you add the last half. If it gets above that area and confirms, you can just get out. Make it easy. Trading's not difficult. You just have to do strict money management and manage your positions the right way. In these markets, you kind of got to add sometimes at more resistance spots, or if you're going long as it's coming down, you're buying the dip and you're buying at good levels of support where this thing could possibly bounce, whether it's Twilio, Facebook, Bidu, whatever. So right now we're short a couple bucks in the money. We'll see if we can get another big fall, you know, another couple dollar fall that will be big enough for me, and we'll just pull it off. We'll be done. I'm a swing trader, short term, get in and get out and take the money. All right, let's look at Chtr. This is a high-flying pig. This is, some guy called that on StockTwits today. But man, goes to the other exchange. Everyone's getting bullish, just like Bidu did. They did the same thing, up, 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 and then slap. Great reversal today. We engulfed this top candle here. We are at the 382 at around 268.66. 382 is at 268.22. I am bearish on this, so I want to see it close at the 264.53 or below, and then we have support around the 260.85, and then we're going to see if we can get some nice follow through and possibly hit this 20 MA or possibly fill the gap, and then we'll have to see how this thing reacts. But at this time, moving up on news, nice reversal. I'd expect maybe some sideways action and then the next fall, or maybe we get just some follow through tomorrow. If we do end up going towards here, if you're bullish, you want to see it close above the 280.14 area or so, or what was the high? 279.95. We'll go with 280. You want to see confirmation, then this thing could possibly move up into the 290.300 area. But at this point, let's go to the weekly. It's just stretched. Even on the weekly, that was a nice reversal. I mean, we popped up. Now we're closing below this. I would love it to get into this area right around here tomorrow, but I mean, that's 260. That's another $8. Well, it was down $9 today. That would be epic, but you know, we'll keep it one day at a time with this one. That's what we're looking for. I would love this thing to engulf this and just keep going. Honestly, if it does, I think we could get back down to the 235 area up in here, and then we'll wait for pattern to see if it can move lower. Monthly chart just stretched. And if this one starts coming in, we're going to have a nice little tail on the top here. My max move was 276.04. The high was 280. So, you know, $4. That's not bad. I had that level in there a long time. But yeah, just a stretch chart. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months up. Time for this one to come back home. Home would be the 20 MA. This would be the mama, and this one actually would be home to daddy. Daddy's the 50 MA. If that comes in, look out. We're looking at 155 or so on this one. That would be epic. And you know what? That would be double bottom. That actually the breakdown, the breakup area. This thing should never be up here. This was all on news. They bought Time Warner. They had upgrades. They had this. They changed exchange. I mean, what else? But next, I guess they're going to throw out a stock buyback. That's their like last resort. But we'll see. We wrote some call options today on this one, and we're going to see if we could get some action on it. All right, guys. That's a couple charts. I enjoy doing this stuff. I hope you're enjoying watching the videos. Hopefully, you're learning something. And God bless. See you on the charts.